Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It is the 21st. It's September. It's the year 2025. That's what they tell us. It's all we got to go on. So there it is. At any rate, I've been off-grid, and I'm currently off-grid right now. I'm in the high desert right now in an undisclosed location. And there's a lot going on right now. There's an absolute lot going on. So I'm going to try to cover it as succinctly as humanly possible. But the first thing I want to get into is Al-Qaeda. All of a sudden, once again, we're being threatened by Al-Qaeda. And I find that really queer, especially when you have entities like Palantir.
You've probably heard the name Palantir tossed around in tech circles, finance headlines, or political debates. But ask 10 people what Palantir actually does, and you'll likely get 10 different answers. Some say it's a government spy tool, others call it a data company, and a few claim it's the most powerful AI company you've never used. Here's the truth. Palantir isn't building apps or gadgets. It builds platforms that make sense of massive amounts of data used by the military, hospitals, Fortune 500 companies, and intelligence agencies alike. They're not just helping people collect data. They're helping them decide what to do with it. And in a world that runs on data, that's a lot of power. So let's ask the real question. Do you think a company like this should have so much control over the decisions that shape society?
So everything we know has led us to believe that Palantir is watching everybody at all times. Palantir is being used by Israel against the Palestinians in that theater of war right now. Palantir is being used in Ukraine against Russia right now. Palantir is being used in the United States right now, and they're using it in replacement of a 2003 bill Congress tried to pass where the government was going to do what Palantir is doing. After 9/11, the government wanted to spy on every single solitary American citizen all the time through every avenue humanly possible, and people found out, and somehow back in 2003, it got voted down. So it didn't pass. That bill didn't happen. The government couldn't monitor us 24/7, all day, every day. But fortunately for them, Palantir stepped in and took up that very role. So the Congress voted down that law, and Palantir just picked it up anyways. And yet, we're still being warned right now that Al-Qaeda is now suddenly, for whatever reason, Al-Qaeda's here, for whatever reason, they're back, they're in the United States, and everybody's very upset, and we have to watch out and don't gather in large gatherings any place, and they want all the government officials to be careful with their agendas and their itineraries and to get rid of their public badges when they're flying, etc. So which one is it? Is Palantir an all-seeing eye that sees everything at all times? Or is Al-Qaeda just so brilliant that they outsmart us no matter what our technology is? What it is an absolute lie. It's just more of the same. These guys are doing their new world order, and they're going to start killing and blowing people up worse than we've ever seen before whatsoever at all. Period, man. This is the CEO of Palantir, this creepy freak.
If transparency is so important to you, why is it so hard to get details about a lot of what you're actually doing, especially programs that don't involve warfighters?
That's a very fair question. So transparency around what's being done with the data, the technical transparency, I think we're quite good at. Transparency around our clients, in many cases our hands are tied. There are a lot of clauses in these contracts about what we're allowed to talk about, and we respect that.
That's a great escape hatch for you.
You know, sometimes you luck into things that work well for you.
And one of the biggest places you've been criticized is for your work at the border with immigration and customs enforcement. Was there ever a time that you wished you had not done work for ICE?
Absolutely. Completely.
You wish you'd never done it?
No. You asked, is there ever a time? Did I suffer? Look, everyone in my family thinks voting for Biden is right of center. I've had some of my favorite employees leave.
Over ICE?
Over ICE. I had people protesting me, some of whom I think asked really legitimate questions. I have asked myself, if I were younger at college, would I be protesting me?
It sounds like yes. What is their most valid criticism?
That if you are involved in anything that one instance of injustice doesn't tarnish all instances of justice. And I see this question in every single thing we do. And by the way, not just in ICE, I see this with our work with clandestine services. I mean, our product is used on occasion to kill people.
This is drone targeting, or what is this?
Targeting of all kinds. If you're looking for a terrorist in the world now, you're probably using our government product, and you're probably doing the operation that actually takes out the person in another product we build.
So they have this unbelievable product that's watching all of us at all times. Because remember, in 2003, the government wanted to do a program where they were spying on every single solitary American citizen 24/7 because we got attacked on 9/11 by 12 people from Saudi Arabia. So our government's response was to spy on us in every humanly way possible. It wasn't allowed to happen through the various means. So they got a company called Palantir to do it, and now that company is an absolute monster. But with that monster in place, how is it these guys are suddenly a thing again? Do you see what I'm saying? They're putting everything on the table right now. And I'll tell you what, in a real world where Al-Qaeda was real and not our Central Intelligence Agency, MI6, etc., they would be in Israel, knocking things over and breaking stuff. And speaking of Israel, on the 24th of September, in just a couple of days, Israel is going to be broadcasting. They're going to be broadly casting an enormous ritual. Let me tell you a secret. This has never happened before whatsoever at all. Whatever happens, whether it's on television, whether it's in the sky, whether it's any place, do not believe anything you hear or see on the 24th.
Israel is summoning something terrific. Right now, the Israeli government is preparing for an event never seen in the nation's history. On September 24th, 2025, Rosh Hashanah, Jerusalem will sound 100 shofars at once, broadcast live worldwide. 100 priests, 100 sacred trumpets, one earth-shaking blast. For over 3,000 years, this holy moment has been intimate, never coordinated like this, never shared with the entire world. Why now? Why 2025? The shofar has always signaled divine intervention, repentance, the presence of God, and, in Christian hope, the coming of the Messiah. 100 trumpets, one coordinated blast, one global audience. Are we about to witness what no generation has ever seen?
I totally agree. Israel is going to try to summon something. And whatever that something is, it will be broadcast to all nations all over the world. This is completely crazy. In the middle of everything they're doing right now, they're going to do this. No big deal, nothing to see here. I want you to remember the Pope opening 5 portals. Their words, not ours. They tried to clean it up later. And now all of these holy men, the red heifer, was it real? Was it not real? Who knows? Because Israel doesn't do anything but lie constantly, so it's almost impossible to tell. And lots of people will believe this. And recently, a video put out by the Truth is Stranger Than Fiction YouTube channel touched on something that I had not even realized. It was a great call, kind of groundbreaking by him. And it might play into this because these idiots that took the vaccines will probably believe this, and this is probably why. Listen to this. In this video, Will is going over neural lace and the new competitor for the neural link that's come out. You know, the brain computer interface, or the BCI as they call it, where everybody gets a chip in their head. Well, Will might have found a cheat code that they discovered during the pandemic. So you don't actually have to get one in your head, because if you took the vaccine, you might already have this thing in your head. Check this out.
Snowden says he was astonished back then at the access he had at his fingertips, most notably including a computer program that, as he put it, could get inside your thought process.
When I think about an instance that really just struck me as, oh my God, we can do this, and that we can do it to anyone, was that people at NSA, analysts, can actually watch people's internet communications, watch them draft correspondence, and actually watch their thoughts form as they type. As you write a message, you know, an analyst at the NSA or any other service out there that's using this kind of attack against people can actually see you write sentences and then backspace over your mistakes and then change the words and then kind of pause and think about what you wanted to say and then change it. And it's this extraordinary intrusion, not just into your communications, your finished messages, but your actual drafting process, into the way you think.
What if we could bridge the gap between the human mind and computers? We can use computing to understand the human brain, but also to leverage its full potential.
What if interacting with technology was as seamless and intuitive as just having a thought? We can do things like fly a drone, play an instrument, play a game, drive a car, all with just our minds.
OpenBCI stands for Open Source Brain-Computer Interface. We create open source tools for biosensing and neuroscience.
We turned to Lenovo and AMD to give us the computing power we need to create these groundbreaking tools.
At OpenBCI, we're integrating state-of-the-art neurotechnology with artificial intelligence and wearable computing.
The BCI community is a group of people interested in expanding the capabilities of their bodies and minds. They're passionate about finding ways to leverage technology to assist their lives and the lives of others.
We started OpenBCI to lower the barrier to entry for brain-computer interfacing, and we did so with the hopes that our approach would allow for the technology to be adopted into the consumer landscape in an ethical and equitable way. The 𝗦𝗲𝗍 headset is a state-of-the-art wearable device designed to integrate neurotechnology with augmented and virtual reality. It enables brain-computer interface applications. 𝗦𝗲𝗍 is one of the first, if not the first, available piece of technology that really closes the loop between humans and machines.
Okay, keep with me here. Stay with me here, because we're getting to a point, because this is important. This is something that Will stumbled upon, and I don't even think he realized the magnitude of it until he posted the video, which is why I'm posting the video. This is important because it all ties together. So these guys have come up with something that's a brain-computer interface, or what they call a BCI, a neural lace. It's an implant that goes on the external. It doesn't go over your head. But while he was listening to Snowden talk way back then, he didn't realize what he had heard. Not only can they listen to what you're thinking, but they can put thoughts in your head. That was a long time ago. Just imagine where they're at now. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you understand why this is important now? Because when Israel does their little trumpet thing, all the people with the vaccine, well, you know what? I'm not going to spoil the surprise. Listen.
Excuse me? A baking powder?
It's a bi-directional brain-computer interface. Not only do we have the ability to record high-fidelity physiological and psychological data from the human mind, but we also have the ability to write back into the human mind.
So I thought I'd take a break from all the assassination consternation going on 24/7 right now over the canonization of St. Charlie, and instead take a minute to get caught up on the latest happenings with the brain-computer interface front, as I had noticed a few headlines recently about some new Neuralink test subjects. And in the course of doing that, I came across that Snowden clip from 2014 that I'm sure I had heard at one point, since I'm pretty sure I watched that entire interview, but I guess I'd forgot about that part, or at least it hits a little differently now since BCI and remotely reading people's brain signals certainly felt a lot more like lofty science fiction type stuff back in 2014 than it does today. Because now, not only do we have Neuralink, which most folks are familiar with, but now we have Zuckerberg and Meta. They've been investing in the BCI space along with Sam Altman and OpenAI as well, getting in on the action, and I'll share some updates on that in a bit. I had also not heard of the 𝗦𝗍𝗍𝗺 headset developed by this OpenBCI, a joint venture of AMD and Lenovo, and they're claiming to help make BCI tech more available to the
BCI community.
So there they are, laying it right out on the table. Not only can this thing listen to your thoughts and such, but it can write thoughts in real time, in high fidelity, that they can implant in your head. But then listen to this. At the very end of his video, it's a pretty lengthy video. It's about 20-something minutes. But at the very end, he dropped this chestnut.
Now, if they already have the ability to read and write signals to the brain, a bidirectional brain-computer interface, as the guy from OpenBCI called it, then won't it just be that much more convenient to be offered all the benefits of BCI without having to fuss with all the messy surgery business of having wires implanted in your skull? If it's like, oh, hey, guess what? Turns out we don't even need to use the chip. Well, you can just have the BCI. And that does have to make you stop and wonder if all of the insanity that went down 4 years ago with the fancy new nanoparticle technology that was rolled out.
He's talking about the COVID vaccine. Just for those that didn't catch that, that's the fancy nanotech technology.
It's rolled out worldwide. If that might just have something to do with this BCI sales pitch also. Could that have been part of the beta test for, quote, non-invasive brain sensors that are designed to do exactly what this Галия headset does? Or the wires from the Neuralink? If we think back to the warnings from Edward Snowden, or the predictive programming from Edward Snowden, however you want to look at that, I mean, we're reminded that they certainly didn't ask anyone's permission to turn these new portable communication devices into tracking and surveillance devices. You know, we thought it was all about convenience and safety, and today most people would feel almost incapable of leaving their house without it, even though we used to be able to go off on long trips and fly across the country without having any such device on our person. So have we really become empowered or enslaved?
And let me remind you how many hundreds and hundreds from all over the world videos were coming out of people testing their vaccine, and it was giving off a Bluetooth signal. When they were in areas like cemeteries, they were in the middle of stadiums, nobody was around, etc. And the fact that the mainstream fought back against this so hard, well, there was no such thing as that. There was no Bluetooth in the vaccine. Think about it. This is crazy. And to me, this all ties together because BCI's nanotechnology, Bluetooth in the vaccines, and then all this technology just absolutely engulfing us. And magically on the 23rd, Israel's going to do this thing that's never been done before. No matter what you hear or see, don't believe anything unless you can touch it and you're familiar with it. Don't believe anything coming from the sky. Don't believe anything coming from the television. Let me remind you of a video I did many years ago, because this should be old news by now, because it is. So a subscriber sent me a link to this video, and this video is from a YouTube channel called the 4th PSYOP Group, which is a United States Army group. And here's their info if you want to join up, or you want to join, or you want to text them. All their info's right here. But this is what the Army wants you to know about psychological operations.
As the world watches and listens in horror, the peaceful pro-democracy demonstration in China comes to a violent and bloody end.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Wolves hiding nearby, whispering do or die around me. You say your last goodnight.
another very important phase of warfare. It has as its target not the body, but the mind of the enemy.
The target of psychological warfare is against the enemy's mind.
It is words and ideas.
Ammunition used by cyber.
Its mission is to influence the thoughts of the enemy soldier, and at the same time
is expected and encouraged to study foreign languages and the social sciences such as history, economics, and sociology. He must have a broad and sympathetic understanding of all phases of human experience.
Gripping at my skin, the walls of night closing.
But the use of this force as an integral part of combat has now taken on new form.
As I wait to say my last goodbye.
War soldiers.
That was pretty in your face, wasn't it? I mean, they just basically explained so many things. So many things. Hollywood, war, your computer, television, etc. Who's pulling the strings? Well, I have a good idea.
Good going to happen. I really believe that. There's something very good going to happen. We have to get back. So think of it in this horrible period, this horrible, dark period where this monster came and worked its horrible, horrible spell over the world. 184 countries as of this morning. 184 countries. Something good going to happen. I really believe that.
Now, I'm currently recording this from the back of my truck right now, so I'm going to expand on this video at a later time. But check this out. So the reason I reposted that was I did that back during the lockdowns. The U.S. Army PsyOps Division put up their own YouTube channel. That's how ballsy they are. They know that nobody's paying attention except people like us, and they're on the internet dealing with people like us. And if you recall, after I put that video up, I said, chances are my channels will be gone soon. And they were. So for those that don't understand, we have psychological operations being used against us at all times. The fact that they're telling us that the bullet didn't have an exit wound on Charlie Kirk was because the coroner said he was like a Superman. His bone density was so thick that it was amazing, and it stopped the bullet. A human being, two human beings, three 220-pound men standing chest to back, could not stop an 8mm Mauser bullet or a 30-06 bullet. It'll take down 2 moose or 2 elk. It's an enormous bullet. The only way any of that thing works is if it's the way I originally said it. It ricocheted off his chest armor and grazed his neck. Or I'm starting to believe it was just all smoke and mirrors, but we'll never know, and it doesn't matter. It's astonishing how they're using this so bad against humanity to split us even further. It's astonishing. At any rate, Richie from Boston, I am telling you, get your money out of the bank, turn it into gold and silver. No matter what, they're going to steal your money. That's all they've been doing since Trump has been in office. Biden set it up so that we could have all these problems, and then Trump is just letting all his billionaire friends in, and they are raping the country. Get your money out of the bank and have them send you it gold and silver to your house. I'm out.